So what's the secret sauce to Google search? What's that magic thing that you need to know to trick the Google algorithm and get your page to the top of Google search results? Well, unfortunately, that magic wand just doesn't exist. But I want to show you best practices about how to design an effective website that's built around the way people search, that you have landing pages that are focused and great content, good writing that uses those keywords effectively on those pages. And also, to get to the top of Google search, you have to play by the rules of the game. Google's got a great web page called Google Webmaster Guidelines that can show you the things that you can do and a lot of the things that you should never do. So, I've been on the internet for a long time. Have you ever seen this? When you go to a page, it probably hasn't been out there for a long time, but you'd go to a page and there'd be a big block of open space, white space. And you'd look at it and it didn't really make sense with the design of the page, but then if you took your mouse and scrolled over that, oh my gosh, all these keywords would appear. It might say cell phone batteries, BlackBerry batteries, buy a battery, blah. That used to be a trick that people used to fool Google. It doesn't work anymore. And if you look in Google Webmaster Guidelines, it'll tell you, don't use the same color text on the same color background. Low contrast or same color text is against their guidelines. There's also a great guy out there that can show you these insights. His name is Matt Cutts. His website is mattcutts.com. It's mattcutts.com. He works for Google, and he is Google's representative to the search community, and he'll tell you which things they don't want you to do and which things are effective for search engine optimization. So if you ever have a question about something specific, do a search of Matt Cutts' blog and you'll probably find a pretty good answer. So now that we know that the pages should be keyword rich, they should play by the rules of the game, the next big step is links. The only way to get to the top of Google search results is by getting links to your website from a quality and quantity of websites out there on the internet. So you can build links in a variety of ways, and I will get into a lot more details in further videos. So you can get memberships to local business organizations like the Chamber of Commerce or the Better Business Bureau. You can get trade organizations that will link to your website. You can get directory links where there's just information with lots of businesses where you can pretty easily put a listing for your business. You can build links from information-related sites. So whatever sites related to your market, your products and services, they're out there and working to build your prestige and getting links. Now, the way this works is Google measures these links as votes for your website. To be relevant, you need to have those votes. You can develop the most perfect website, the perfect title tags, the perfect header tags, the greatest content. And without those links, you're not even eligible to compete. So with a website that's built around search, that has links, that has good content, the next step is keep it updated. If you build your web page and you just let it go, you don't do any work to put some more information in your homepage or have a blog, Google recognizes that. So stagnant websites without many changes, they drop in search results. Web design is another key aspect. A well-designed website is one that Google can index effectively and doesn't have a lot of garbled, useless code that's going to confuse the Google bots. So that means Google goes and finds a page, it copies a version of that page to its ginormous computer network. So every page on the internet has been copied and indexed by Google. So if you have code that's extra, superfluous, crappy old code, Google doesn't like that, and you won't get as much keyword density on your page. So now that you have a website that's built around the way people search, has got great links, it's got good content that's updated regularly, the next step is to be socially active, to get out there and interact with Facebook or other blogs or forums or information-related sites. That interaction and that regular updating to your website, that'll bring more links as well as show Google that you're active, you're involved, and your website's getting updated. So when people get to your website, you've only fought half the battle. Your website needs to be persuasive with clear calls to action. What do you want people to do once they get to your website? Do you want them to pull out a credit card and make a purchase? Do you want them to join your email newsletter? To go to your Facebook page? To pick up the phone and call you? There's so many different things that a website can do, but a focused website is going to be driving your customers, your visitors, toward those calls to action. And a great tip is always pair that call to action with a competitive advantage, what you do particularly well in business. So for example, for Batteries for Less, we might say something like 1-year warranty, 30-day money-back guarantee on all of our products. Click here to buy. If I was selling a service, I might say something like 25 years of experience, getting it done right. Call or click to get a quote. An effective website means that you're going to get people from search engines and from other sources, and then it needs to be your salesperson to turn those visitors into customers. Your website also needs to be socially active, to create a conversation and make it so that people want to come back to your website. They want to see what else you're doing, what products or services or promotions you're offering. So that interaction of making sure that you are persuasive toward that social interaction, as well as any of those other places where you can make money on your website, that's how you can make money most effectively. Also, a website needs to be well designed and easy to use. I've been to so many websites that rank so well in search results, but you get there and they're awful, they're hard to use, they're not clear. I recommend a great book. It's called Don't Make Me Think. It's been around for a while and it's considered the Bible of website usability. The author's name is Stephen Krug, K-R-U-G, and the premise of this book is make sure your users don't have to think, that they can easily find what they're looking for on your website. Clear, crisp presentation and design. Having navigation that will show them not only where they can go on the website, but where they are currently. There's so many ways that you can improve your website just to make it an easier experience, and that means people are going to engage more, and they're probably going to look at more pages, and they're more likely to turn into customers. So now that we've looked at your website from the point of view of a keyword-rich, well-linked, updated, socially active, persuasive website, you're ready to go and get to the top of Google and know that people are going to find you. And when they find you, you're going to persuade them into becoming a great customer.